of all ages, from knowing your worth and identity in Christ, fostering godly relationships, beauty, fashion, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and more. And of course, we bring a biblical perspective to every discussion.
It's Woman of Promise, the Grand Reset, every Tuesday from 12:15 to 1 p.m. on Isaac 98.1 FM. Sponsored by Furniture Plus.
Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. I am Renata Singh, and welcome to Woman of Promise. It's Tuesday again. It comes around so quickly. I'm so grateful, though. There's not been much traffic on the road, which I am really, really happy about. One of the perks of school being out, I guess. Yeah,
definitely
the
a
kids
perk.
being.
I feel so blessed.
And so do I. We can't get too accustomed to it, though. In a few weeks, we'll be back with the kiddies at school, as they should be, right? That's, I guess, something we should be happy about as well.
Yes. That they go back out.
Absolutely. But you guys are hearing someone in the studio with me today, and that's my very special guest. She's no stranger to us here on the program. I had her a couple months back, Mrs. Joelle Bellemare-Aching, and she is a qualified marketing professional. However, she left her lucrative business as a director of a medium-sized advertising agency, Saga Studios Limited, to pursue her passion for helping marriages and families to get strong. After struggling to keep their own marriage together, who, along with her husband Russell, now lead the Trinidad and Tobago team of it's an NGO, Family Life International, and I'm sure you guys are properly well aware of Family Life International.
No,
if you aren't, what rock are you living under? Welcome to the program.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here. It's an honor.
I am really excited for today's program. Of course, this month we are focusing on women who have shaped our nation, and today we'll be talking a bit about women of enterprise. Specifically in the leadership space, we're going to be talking about resilience, innovation, and of course building a legacy. Now, we have been talking quite a bit about legacy, but in different ways.
Yeah.
So over the last couple of months, we touched on it from a parental point,
Right.
and today we're moving into a different sphere of it, which is speaking about it in a business, more business related setting. And of course you are perfect for
Well, I hope so. I hope I can do it justice.
Of course you will. I am really excited. So if you guys are listening, please, or viewing online or so on the live stream, please feel free to chime in the conversation. Those WhatsApp numbers. Tiffany will share them with you in a short bit. Tiffany, you have the number? Yeah.
275-1981. We could also try some calls today at 622-1981.
There we go. So feel free to jump in the conversation. We'd love to hear your feedback. If you have a question for us, we'll try our best to answer.
Yeah, man.
All right, leadership. Let's talk leadership. Now, I am well aware there are persons of different backgrounds listening to us, and so I think when people hear the word leadership, they kind of get
Right.
that only applies to a certain group of people or persons with a title or a
Right.
big job position. But leadership is so much more than that.
It is.
Could you share a bit? I think that's a good place to start. What is leadership?
Yeah. So leadership is influence.
All right.
That's the simple answer. It is influence. And so if you think about influence, anybody can be a leader.
All right.
Even somebody that works at home is a leader because you're influencing the next generation, your children.
Right.
So once you have influence, you're a leader, and you can lead wherever you are. If you're in a janitor in a company, you have influence because you're influencing not just the people, but you're also influencing the space around you, creating an atmosphere for others to be comfortable in. So anybody can be a leader.
All right. Is that something that we have to be aware of to be able to lead in, or do you think there are persons functioning in spaces unaware that they are leading in their own sphere?
Yeah, so I think that there are people who are natural leaders, you've been in groups where, you form a group and they say someone lead, and you will have the natural people who will just
Yeah.
take charge and guide the group.
Yes.
But there are people who lead and they're not even aware that they're leading. So I think when you understand that leadership is about influencing others, then you can be aware that, okay, I'm now cognizant of the fact that the things that I do, the things that I say, the things that people observe in me will have an influence on someone else. And so as a leader, I need to be very aware of what I'm saying, my actions, my words, my deeds,
Yeah.
because it can have either a positive impact or a negative impact.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that is something very sobering. It's something sobering for me. Just the fact that, hey, you may be kind of living life haphazardly, unaware of the people around you that are paying attention,
correct.
because they are paying attention.
They are.
And yeah, that is so critical what you shared. You could have either a positive impact or negative impact. How can we lead though with intentionality then? Because I don't think there's anyone in their right mind, let me be very specific, that, is on a mission to have a negative impact on anyone's lives.
True.
So we'll make that assumption. So how do we lead with intentionality?
So I think it's about, knowing what do I want from my life. Because if I understand that I'm leading and I'm influencing people, then I will develop myself and I will be willing to pursue, okay, how can I be the best version of myself? What does it mean to lead? I will find people who I can look up to, who can be my mentor, who can, if I am weak in a particular area, but I know this is an area that I maybe, I think I could have a good influence on some people. It could be in your community, where there may be some children in the community that are not supervised, and I could say, okay, I could develop a skill in this area, teach them how to cook, bring some kind of skill to their life, because as leaders, our intention should always be to leave a person better than we met them.
Absolutely.
And so if we are aware of that, just being aware and understanding that what I say and what I do can have a positive effect on someone, I will be more intentional about looking for those opportunities.
And
Even
so-
waking up in the morning and saying, God, show me who I can impact today, who I can be a blessing to today. That's leadership.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about this word ownership.
Yes, the owners of ourselves.
Absolutely. Ownership, and also the fact that one of the points that you made there just now is it's not about us.
Yes, correct.
It's about others. And so being aware of that kind of shapes the way that we live.
Yes.
It should.
It
shape the
should.
way that it should shape the way that we live, the decisions that we make. Sometimes we have to do things that we may not necessarily like
Very
or be
correct.
comfortable with.
Yes.
But that may be necessary
Yes.
in the moment. Leadership is not easy.
It's not. It is certainly not.
Yes. What do you think is something unique to women specifically? Female leaders, let's put it that way, that we have to navigate.
So I think and particularly in the Caribbean, as women, we still are not always considered as good leaders as a man would be. And so I think it affects sometimes, if you're talking about in the corporate world, the positions, because like it or not, there is a bias towards men.
I was just going to ask,
Leadership.
do you think there's still that bias?
I think it's getting much better.
Yes.
And I think over the years, especially in this last few years where we now have a woman prime minister, we have a woman president, and we have a woman speaker of the house.
Yes.
So I think more and more
Women
it's
are
getting better.
stepping into those
Women are
spaces,
stepping into those spaces. So I think, but the challenge is for us to realize that what we are, as a woman in leadership, we're not competing with men.
Okay.
We have something unique to bring to the table.
And we're not trying to be men.
We're not trying to be men. We don't have, so you find I've heard people say all the time, I had this woman boss and she was so hard to deal with, because I think a lot of times we come in trying to prove ourselves. And that's because the culture has it that way, that, because we think that we will always be kept down, we try to overextend sometimes and do a little extra or too extra, and so that we are out of balance. So we go to the other extreme of being hard and not leading in the way that, we are uniquely wired to lead, which is naturally for most women, and of course it varies across, personalities. We have that nurturing ability. And so let's celebrate that. We don't have to try to compete and be hard and act like a man, when we really have gifts that God has uniquely gifted us with as individuals. I believe that every woman has purpose. We're all created with a purpose. And so when we live our life understanding that we are doing it as unto the Lord, we are serving Him primarily, then we will serve in the way that He has designed us to serve. Which is, He says it, the greatest is the one who serves. And so His two commands are love God and love people. And if we love people, we will lead from a position of love.
Okay. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. One of the things that you just mentioned in terms of the overcompensation, that could lead us to a whole slippery slope. And I think it's important that we real talk here. So we're going to real talk a little bit, right?
Sure.
I think that can sometimes be a little bit unhealthy.
Yes.
How can we as women, I think it's hard to admit that we are in that space, that, hey, I'm in a space, I traditionally may not have been celebrated in this space, and you feel the pressure. How can we protect ourselves from becoming leaders or developing this, just the need or want to overcompensate?
I think it's understanding who we are, understanding our identity. And of course, if we are Christian, the identity is in Christ. And so if our identity is in Christ, then we will act according to His statutes, according to His principles that He has laid out for us. And so to me, it's simple. I'm called to do, I feel most times, hopefully, if you're a leader in a particular sphere, it's because you feel called to that sphere. And so I'm called to this area. How can I be the best person that I can be? And how can I serve in the way I want to be served? And so, I mean, it's laid out there for us. Treat others the way you want to be treated. And if we love people, as I said, as Christ loved us, then we will lead from a position of humility. Humility is the foundation. Any good leader does not have the characteristic of humility, you will find that you will always be in a difficult position trying to get people to follow you.
Absolutely.
Because humility is attractive. And it's not a being a doormat. It is, an understanding that I am not bigger, I am not more important, we are of equal value, and I can learn from you just as much as you learn from me, and I am in this space only because God has placed me here for a purpose and for this time, to be a blessing to others. And so we come with that attitude, and then we can lead in a way that people will want. It will be attractive to others. People will want to follow. Your job will be much easier.
I think one of the things that you mentioned in terms of mentorship, I think it's so important to have persons around us who can point out the not so good traits, or if we're acting out of godly character, let's put it that way, because as Christians, like you mentioned, in the church setting, at work, in our homes, we should be one particular way. We shouldn't be one way in the church and another way at home and another way at work, and we should be shining that light regardless of where we sit, where we stand, what position we hold. And let's be real, sometimes we miss the mark. Sometimes we do. And that's okay, that's human. But we must be, again, that word you said, humble enough to accept, hey, responsibility of when you mess up.
Yes, correct.
And you will mess up. as a leader, you are
will.
going to mess up.
Definitely.
But sometimes there's a weight with that.
Yes.
I want to talk about that a little bit. That pressure, that weight that you may feel, sometimes even the guilt of, oh my gosh, I messed up. Understanding that I had a negative impact on this particular whoever, if it could be a group of people, it could be one person, etc. How do you navigate in a space like that for the leader that's listening, that may be like, oh, I am hearing you guys. I was not humble in that situation. I didn't respond in a Christ-like way. What next?
Yeah.
What's next?
So I think it's important to listen well. So the people that are underneath you, or the people that are next to you, around you, your co-workers, your subordinates, if you listen to what they're saying and you allow them to share in a safe space where they know they will not be victimized for sharing their thoughts, and you listen from the perspective of understanding and taking ownership, as you mentioned earlier, you take ownership for the part that you had to play.
Yeah.
I think people shy away from being vulnerable and showing their faults. But we have learned over the years, even with our own story of really messing up in our relationship, that when we share authentically and we let people know, listen, we're human, and we can take ownership, we can take responsibility, own up to your responsibility, but also go the extra mile to fix it.
Yeah.
And to ensure, put the things in place that will be necessary for it to not happen again.
Yeah, because sometimes we get to that place, we have the conversation, but it's more than just, I have taken responsibilities, not just a conversation. It's the actions that follow after.
Yeah, I mean, having an accountability person to say, okay, this person that works closest to you, let them know, listen, when you see me doing this, I give you the freedom to come to me and say, that I'm doing this, and let me know. And I am assuring you that I'm not going to hold it against you.
Yes.
Being big enough. And I mean, my husband always tells a story when he did that with our children. So that works in any sphere that you're leading in, even with our children, because he had a habit of losing control and shouting, and it used to really affect the children. So one of the things he decided one day to do when it was a really bad conflict that we had, he said to the children, listen, I'm giving you the authority when you see me losing control, because self-control is not a fruit of the Spirit.
Yeah.
And I want to demonstrate a fruit. I want to grow in this area. So when you see Daddy getting out of control, you come and you say to me in a respectful manner, Daddy, you're losing control.
Yeah.
And I promise you, I will adjust.
And guess what? Sometimes that is difficult because it may be coming from people that's, okay, in that space, that's your children.
Yeah.
They're younger, inexperienced. In that context, in the work setting, it may be persons that don't hold quote-unquote equal positions as we are.
True.
And so that is why that's where the humility comes in.
Yes, exactly.
And that's a test for
It
us. Just as much as I believe God tests everybody. He tests leaders too.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Leaders have big tests
Absolutely.
to pass. And when you think one test is over and you pass,
Oh no, you have another one.
one is coming.
Absolutely.
Because there's a responsibility as a
Yes.
leader. And God says it in His Word that, the teachers have greater accountability than others. And so
inviting that accountability
inviting
is
it
important.
is important. Having an open door policy where, it's not I am the boss and I know everything. You can be teachable.
Yes.
Being teachable and being open to somebody that may be junior to you. Coming and saying, I mean, of course you have to maintain respect levels.
Absolutely.
I'm not talking about being a walkover and a pushover.
Yeah.
But it's allowing, especially the people on the ground, they are often the people that sometimes know more than you.
Yeah.
And so being able to listen, to hear, and to implement, and to include.
Yes.
Invite feedback.
Yeah.
And too often leaders don't invite feedback.
Yeah.
Tell me, how do you feel this strategy that we implemented worked? Is it working?
Yeah.
Was it good? Was it bad? Get that feedback. How am I as a leader? Is there anything that you think
That's
And
a
you might
big
be
one.
surprised at some of the
Listen.
answers. How am I
But
doing?
we have to be okay.
We have to be okay.
If we want to grow and that again, going back to what you mentioned earlier, be a leader that's having a positive impact. Let's be real. None of us are perfect,
Nope.
and so we have to be open to hearing even the quote unquote negative
Correct.
ways that we may be received.
Yeah.
And guess what? That's just an opportunity. That's not a that is not a slap in the face.
No.
Let's put it that way. That's an opportunity for you to grow as a leader.
Yeah, it is.
It may be difficult to hear, yes. I hear you. It will be difficult to hear, but it's necessary. If our intention is, like you mentioned, loving people
Yep.
and loving God,
Mm-hmm.
those two things that you mentioned there just a while ago, if that's the heart of why we lead, then we will lean into the feedback that we
Exactly.
get. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go to a short break. When we come back, we continue this discussion. We're going to chat a little bit about feedback when we come back. Don't
Okay.
go anywhere.
Women of Promise is back. The Grand Reset with our new host, Renata Singh.
Hey, it's your girl Renata, and you can join me and my special guests every Tuesday from 12:15 to 1 p.m. as we touch on issues that impact women of all ages, from knowing your worth and identity in Christ, fostering godly relationships, beauty, fashion, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and more. And of course, we bring a biblical perspective to every discussion.
It's Women of Promise, the Grand Reset, every Tuesday from 12:15 to 1 p.m. on Isaac 98.1 FM. Sponsored by Furniture Plus.
Welcome back to Women of Promise. If you're just joining us, I am with Miss Aching, and we're talking a bit about women in leadership. And one of the things that we started discussing before we went to break, rather, is just how hard it is sometimes to receive feedback. And so I think that is something that is so critical in terms of when we're talking growth, resilience, and creating healthy culture in the business space, even at home, at church. That's a conversation that could work anywhere, really.
Yes.
But feedback is important, and so creating a healthy feedback culture. How do we do that? Where do we start?
So, I think we have to start by communicating to our whichever circle we're operating in,
Yeah.
that we want to get the feedback from. Communicating that I want feedback.
Yeah.
I'm happy to receive feedback. And also creating the space for it to happen.
Okay.
So whether that be an open door policy, whether that be some design tool, there's a lot of things in the workplace now, 360-degree feedback. I mean, AI could help you design something specific if you want specific feedback on specific things. And also, I think a big part of it is that it's not feedback for feedback's sake.
Yeah.
That people realize over time that when I give this feedback, it is received, and something will be done about it.
People want to feel heard, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
They want to feel heard. They want to feel that their ideas matter.
Yes.
Now, you're not going to be able to implement
Absolutely
everybody's
not.
ideas.
But you can hear everybody's
But you can hear
ideas.
it.
Uh-huh.
You can affirm them. I think
Yes.
affirming, thanking,
Yes.
being appreciative of the feedback. And again, it's creating that space, safe space where they don't hear it being talked about,
Yeah.
after among other people.
Yes.
People understand that I can bring something, because sometimes people have to bring negative feedback.
Yeah.
And they don't necessarily want others to know that I'm the person that brought this feedback to the boss.
Yes.
And so it's a culture that we create of safety. I mean, I can't emphasize more the importance of people feeling safe, that they're seen, they are heard, and they are protected when it comes to the workspace. I'm not going to be talking your business out in the open to everybody else. I'm not going to be reporting back to people things that I might have shared confidentially with you. And so it's an atmosphere, and it's an inviting open door where people can feel comfortable to talk about anything.
Yeah, one of the words that you used earlier is be vulnerable.
Yes.
And that's perhaps sometimes a word that's not often used in the business space for reasons. Like, there are reasons. Like, people, I'm sure, would have had bad experiences. And then, there's the whole question of being personal at work.
Yes.
The safety, yes, for sure, that, hey, my business ain't going on the road after. But how can we as the leaders become that safe space?
Yeah.
Safe leadership. Let's put it that way.
So we can talk about vulnerability, I think when people understand that, I mess up, and that I mess up, but I also, I take ownership and responsibility for the mess that I've made. So that sharing of being our authentic selves and saying, I wasn't always here, and showing people that, okay, I did this, but I was able to rise above it, because people don't want to just hear, well, I mess up all the time.
Yeah.
How did you overcome those challenges that you faced? What did you do? How did you move past it? How did you heal? You can share things within boundaries. You don't have to share all the dirty details of what happened. We can let people know, hey, I'm human, I made these mistakes, but I took ownership, I took responsibility, and here's the outcome.
Yeah.
And so when we continuously share those things with people,
It
and we
builds
allow
trust.
people, it builds trust, and it also allows people the freedom to know that if I do something and I mess up, that's okay. I can have this person's support because they have experienced it.
Yeah.
And so they will be able to support me through it and help me and give me advice about how to make it better.
Absolutely. What would you say is one of the biggest challenges that you've had to overcome in business?
So there are many, but if I have to say the biggest challenge that we had to overcome was when we had our business, Saga Studios, which was an advertising agency, and the business was crashing. So we lost several clients at the same time when the energy sector took a turn. And at the same time, one of our major designers got into an accident.
Oh, wow.
And he was out of commission for 2 years, and we had to literally pay him still, while he wasn't really producing any work. And so the company was facing really bad financial issues. And at the same time, on top of that, our marriage was crashing.
Oh my goodness.
So we were in an absolute mess. Things
Yeah.
were like, it was like turmoil, really,
Yeah.
really bad.
Everything just going wrong all at once.
Everything was crashing at the same time.
Oh man.
And, we were praying about it, not together because our relationship was in a mess. So I confess we weren't like holding hands and saying, Lord, help us through this. We were fighting and praying.
Yeah.
And, the answer came in a unique way, in that we got a gift to attend the Family Life Weekend to Remember conference. And that brought healing to our marriage relationship. And then it changed the trajectory of our entire life, because where we thought the business, we had visions of handing down the business to our children, it will continue.
Yeah.
We were both, I started working when I was in school.
Okay.
We were both business, career-driven people.
Yeah.
And when this happened, we felt the call on the Lord actually to close the business and focus more on the Family Life, which is a non-profit NGO.
Yeah.
So we went from making your own money to then being a non-profit organization depending on others.
Yeah.
And so it was a really difficult transition for us. But we felt that it was God calling us to do this. And so we had surprise. Well, I guess at the time we didn't think the answer to the business would have come in through the marriage, because impacting our marriage changed what we were focusing on. We were focusing on business when God changed us to more into ministry. But then after a few years, we encountered the Global Leadership Summit, which is leadership training.
Yes.
Because we both have a passion for leadership, and it's leadership in the home and leadership in business.
Yes.
And so through the Global Leadership Summit, we were exposed to so much training from world leaders, the best leadership experts in the world. And so we wanted to bring that to Trinidad and Tobago. And so we began, my husband was the country leader, I'm the marketing manager for the Global Leadership Summit. And so we do both. But we see it as the same across sectors, really, because it's leadership.
Yes.
Anybody's a leader.
Yeah.
And, this one of the things that the head of the Global Leadership Summit always says is, everyone wins when a leader gets better.
Yeah.
And so we felt that, this was something that we needed to bring to, and so when our marriage realigned, our vision for business and ministry aligned, and then we began to do things in the proper way with God in the center.
Yeah.
And so having God in the center, we now feel like we're living a life of purpose rather than just doing business to make money and to be comfortable. I mean, that's good too.
Yeah.
But I think the comfort is secondary to being on mission for God in the marketplace and in your spiritual life.
Well,
so
that's really good, really inspiring as well. Just for persons that are possibly listening in a hopeless situation and can't see their way out. I mean, let's be real. When you're going through stuff, it's very hard and difficult to see it turning out any other way than how it's already going.
Yep.
It going down. And when you hear persons like yourself sharing stories and a testimony like that, it really does bring hope and inspire persons that may be in that space now that there is hope.
definitely.
God still has a plan, and despite how hopeless your situation may look or feel or seem, He could still turn it around. I know that's such a cliche thing we say, and because you hear it so often, but no, God is who He says He is.
Yes.
Like, He is greater than our greatest problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
correct.
was thinking about that just driving up the road. I'm like, Renata, so many times you're in situations and your default is beating up, it's worry, it's disbelief, it's unbelief, it's not trusting God. And as a Christian, listen,
We all get there.
listen, this struggle is real. Because when things are fine, it's easy to say, yes, God is my provider. Like, He is good, He is great.
It's
But
all right.
when things get real, listen, it's very difficult. And I had to check my heart recently, because I'm like, Renata, you cannot be saying these things. And when the rubber really meets the road, you respond differently. And if you're going through that now, I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying that we have to check our hearts, because as Christians, we should respond with faith.
Yeah.
That should be our default. So yeah.
And we
that's-
see God come through. And then
Exactly.
the very next challenge we face, we back at it again.
I
We're like-
had a mentor told me recently. It's something that I read. He wrote. He said, "Hey, in the situation that you're in now, if you can't see a way out, trust in the history that He has.
Yeah.
He got you before. He got you
Exactly.
through a lot more. So you could lean in on that.
Yep.
You may not see the answer in this situation, but you could trust the history that He is who He says He is." But we're gonna go to another short break. When we come back, we wrap up this discussion. Don't go anywhere.
Woman of Promise is back. The Grand Reset with our new host, Renata Singh.
Hey, it's your girl Renata, and you can join me and my special guests every Tuesday from 12:15 to 1 p.m. as we touch on issues that impact women of all ages, from knowing your worth and identity in Christ, fostering godly relationships, beauty, fashion, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and more. And of course, we bring a biblical perspective to every discussion.
It's Woman of Promise, the Grand Reset, every Tuesday from 12:15 to 1 p.m. on Isaac 98.1 FM. Sponsored by Furniture Plus.
Welcome back. We're about to chat a bit about resilience, because we left off the conversation kind of chatting a bit about, just struggles and how hopeful your situation turned out in the end. I think it's so often when we hear stories, we oftentimes just stop at the struggle, and we don't often talk about the healing, the process, the resilience even that it took to get through. So I think it's important that we, kind of pick things back up there. Resilience. How did you do it?
That's a long story that we don't have time to. I wish I can say that it happened with a click.
Give us the bullet points.
So again, it started at least okay. So for the marriage, it would have been, a recognition that we both failed and we both had a responsibility for the marriage being in the position that it was. So taking accountability and ownership was really important because you end up in a blame game because you always feel that you are more, you are the better person, you are more right than the other person. It's that person's fault. But even if that person is 80% wrong and you're 20% right, you still have a 20%.
Yeah.
So I had to accept that, okay, I've contributed to this.
Yeah.
And so we decided together that we were going to wipe the slate clean of all past hurts because we hurt each other.
Yeah.
And we didn't have the tools then, but we now have new tools. And so can we do this now? Can we get a do-over?
Yeah.
And so we just started over and we committed to not bringing back up past. It was hard. I'm not saying it was easy. Us women especially, we could get historical, not just hysterical, right? We get historical and we bring up everything. I had to fight.
Yeah.
Try. Okay.
Resist the urge.
That was a different person. This is a new person. I'm a new creature.
Yes.
And just recognizing that all have sinned and fall short. And so I was in need of forgiveness just as much as my husband was in need of forgiveness. And so we moved forward with the tools that we had, step by step, with God at the center. When we fall, we get back up and we say, okay, dust it off, let's start again. But I want to say this, I know this is about leadership and business and stuff, but I think it's important because if your marriage and your home life is not good, it impacts everything. Your relationships. Let me just say this quickly, all 10 commandments are about relationship. The first 4 are about our relationship with God, and the remainder 6 is about our relationship with others. And so God is in the business of relationship. So even our business life is about relationships. Mm-hmm. People follow you. People don't leave businesses, they leave people. And if you're a good leader, they're not going to leave. Yeah. They might leave for other reasons, but they will stay for as long as they can stay.
Yeah.
So I can say now that having pushed through the difficult times, you see a lot of couples bail in the middle of the crisis.
Yeah.
And that's the middle of the story. Because it seems hard, it seems overwhelming, it feels like this will never end. Yeah. But when you push through and you persevere, and it's the same in business, when you hit the challenge, when you hit the road where you feel stuck and you don't know which way to go again, you put your head down. The Bible talks about it, persevering, running the race, so that we get the prize in the end. I can say now that I love my husband more than when we first got married. I can say now that there's nothing that can come at us that we can't overcome, because we overcame the worst. We stuck it through when things were real bleak and real dark. And so that's how resilience is built. Over time, every obstacle, you learn another tool, you learn another, and the obstacles don't stop. Yeah. They keep coming. They just come in different shapes and forms and fashions. So as you go through and you overcome, a character is built. Your faith is built. Your long suffering is built. Your patience, all the fruits of the Spirit. If you think about it. Yeah. When you don't feel joyful, when you feel like you want to murder this person next to you, you're literally envisioning how you'll do it. But you choose joy. Yeah. And you choose, to be patient and to be gentle when you want to cuss them out. Because we're being real. Yeah. Several times I want to just cuss. Yeah. Several times I've said to God, I hate this man that you put me with. Why? Yeah. I don't like him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, but I had to make a choice.
We always have a choice.
You have a choice.
That's the thing.
It starts with choosing.
And when you're in the heat of the moment, it's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard to choose joy. It's hard to choose peace. It's hard to choose not bringing up the past. Yeah. That's hard.
It's hard.
But listen.
But because I serve a God that is higher than me, that I promised that I would love, honor, cherish till death, I choose to honor that commitment that I've made. I don't always want to honor it, but I've chosen to honor it. And so now I think that the resilience, that is how, I mean, there's no other way around building resilience.
It's not.
If
it's
you haven't
not,
experienced hardship, I don't think that you would be as resilient as somebody who has persevered through hardship and come out on the other side.
Yeah, one of the really interesting things that you said is when you hit the hard times, that's the middle. So oftentimes we see that as the end. Like, oh my gosh, this is
the middle of the
end.
story.
It's the middle. I love how you said that. I think it shifts the way that we look at hard times, challenges, struggles. And for the person that's listening, I hope you're encouraged by that.
Yeah.
If you're in that situation or circumstance right now, you ain't at the end, you're in the middle. Stick it through. There is hope on the other side. But we're almost out of time. Do you have any closing words for us?
Yeah, I think I do. I mean, I as I said, I believe that every woman is created with purpose, and we don't wait until you have everything to start.
Yeah.
Because you will never have everything.
And sometimes we think we have to get everything together.
You have to get everything together. Start with what you have.
Okay.
And I think trust God in every season and ask God in every season. Because, like leadership is about needs, listening to the needs of people and finding those solutions to those needs.
Okay.
And making a difference, making an impact. And so God knows the need, and he also knows the solution to the need.
Yeah.
So he's gifted you with things that we all have a solution to somebody's problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if we tap into that and we understand who we are and we put God in the center of everything, it's not a divide. Our spiritual life is not separate from our work life.
Absolutely not.
It's certainly not. And so he's present in it. So I think serve people. You can't go wrong serving people.
Yeah.
Loving people. And he has a way of opening doors that we could never open for ourselves.
Absolutely. I think regardless of where you are at, if you're at home, stay-at-home mom, if you're a professional, you're out at the office, wherever you are at, there are people around that, like you mentioned, we're either having a positive impact or negative impact in. And so I think this conversation should have invited reflection, which is good. Reflection is good. We, assess where we're at, and make adjustments. Yeah. And like you mentioned earlier, mentorship is great. Mm-hmm. It's necessary.
It's important.
It's important. It's needed if we are to grow and develop as better leaders. Do you just want to share that? Everybody getting better. I can't remember the quote.
Everybody wins when a leader gets better.
There we go. Everybody
so if you get
wins.
better, the people around you will win.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so very much for taking
welcome.
the time to share and be vulnerable even in this space. I know your story has been a blessing to those listening and encouragement, definitely inspiring. Thank you so very much. But you guys, that's it from me. You'll catch me next week, Tuesday. So I'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Women of Promise is back. The Grand Reset with our new host, Renata Singh.
Hey, it's your girl Renata, and you can join me and my special guests every Tuesday from 12:15 to 1 p.m. as we touch on issues that impact women of all ages, from knowing your worth and identity in Christ, fostering godly relationships, beauty, fashion, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and more. And of course, we bring a biblical perspective to every discussion.
It's Women of Promise, the Grand Reset, every every Tuesday from 12:15 to 1 p.m. on Isaac 98.1 FM. Sponsored by Furniture Plus.
Isaac 98.1